it is the season of Africa. And I know that it is both a multicultural continent, for the different nations that you have a myriad of different hues and entities, but you are Africa. And if I leave you with anything, this is your season. And though there are many faiths that are mixed in the potpourri of Africa, I never call anything the melting pot. They tried, Archbishop, to make America a melting pot. It didn't work. We are a mosaic of so many different pieces that makes us stronger. And what I fight against in America is the divisive divide that wants to elevate one of the pieces over another. Let Africa not fall victim to that. Let Africa realize there are different religions and pieces, Yahweh, and there are different faiths. But guess what? Whatever your faith, the prayers of the righteous availeth much. And so however you pray, let it be that you pray for the goodness and the betterment of the people of Africa, and play for the betterment of the unity of Africa. So if I talk to young entrepreneurs and women and men and women in this room, let me try to give you your elevation of excellence. Let me try to get you not to take a back seat. Let me say to you that it is well known, but the voices must be louder coming from the continent. As African Americans, you know that we are the descendants of slaves. I carry the bill, H.R. 40, the Commission to Study Slavery and Develop Reparation Proposals. I have no fear. I am not embarrassed by the idea that those of us who were pulled from here, and I have no anger on that process because I know the history of tribalism and what could have happened, but I also know that there were traitors that took us. But even with that, let it be clear that we were the builders of America. We made Cotton King. We worked from sunup to beyond sundown, Archbishop. We got no compensation. We got no workman's comp or salary. But because of our strength and our DNA, we were able to create the economic engine of America. That economic engine built the Wall Street banks and created the landed South. So why do I say that? That's legislation in the states, but I need Africa to understand, yes, move that forward. But what I want to say, why it is a connecting bridge, it is to recognize that what we built coming from the continent is now the season of both the intertwining of a democracy defender that we fight to preserve in the United States and the defenders of democracy here on the continent, starting with Ghana. And that the reason that it is your season is because we should promote collectively and note that you will be the largest continent and the youngest continent. So then why shouldn't you be the most economically able continent? And the proudness of your entrepreneurs, including women and men, should be those where the world is seeking you out. So the world comes not to take from Ghana or take from the continent, but the world comes to collaborate, providing economic investment, but sharing it collaboratively with the people of Africa. There should be no more taking from Africa. There should be collaboration with Africa. There should be sharing with Africa. There should be the understanding that you are the economic engine of the world. Never take a back seat to any other continent. And view, yes, I'm a chauvinist on America, view us as the appropriate and prime partnership. Why? Because there's a sizable population that is like this room. But we have the principles, even though all of us have our mountains and valleys, but we have the basic core principles of democracy and fairness and human rights and religious freedom and the love of our faith. We are perfect partners as we work to make it better, America, and create her season. It is your season. Why shouldn't the two who bind together with a bridge, whose seasons are now? America is a young country, Africa is an old continent. Its countries are younger, but the continent is historic. There is much history of mathematics and science right here birthed in Africa. We get our sense of pride from our connectivity to this historic place. And so my charge and challenge as we begin this discussion is to recognize we are destined to be together. That those of you who happen to be Ghanaians are charged with the responsibility, starting with your founding father, that you should give some allegiance to, Kwame Nkrumah, who insisted on your democracy and independence way before anyone else. In the United States, we honor that he pulled away. And then you've had a succession of time that you still remained with the mountains and valleys of leadership, a democratic Ghana. Isn't it right that we should be partners? Isn't it best that we collaborate, the United States and Ghana? And isn't it perfect that the continent have the kind of landscape, as we want AGOA, that there is also the landscape that you are trading with each other. That is my vision, and that is what I see when I see this room of such stupendous elegance and genius and a reflection of what Africa is. I hope that we will have the kind of discussion that you will see that I am proven right and that you're ready to kick off your shoes and soar toward the victory that should be the continent and should be the continent guided and led by the defenders of democracy, which has Ghana standing in the forefront.